So if you hear me fussing, it's them.
Okay. I don't know what's going on with this thing, but we are live. For some reason, my video intro is not playing, so I apologize for that. Uh, I don't. Okay, I'm not gonna deal with this thing right now. So anyway,
Don't worry about it.
welcome to Soul Flow Conversations. I am your host, Dedrick, the Cookie Man, and this is my amazing co-host, the phenomenal Mrs. Fields. All of my effects, I don't know what's going on with this thing, but hold on, let's see if it do it. There we go.
There we
All right.
go.
Lord have
Something's
mercy.
working.
So tonight, first of all, before we go into everything, tonight is we're going to be starting with talking about the effects of zero accountability as it pertains to pretty much all facets of our daily lives, society, politics, whatever it is that comes to your head that pertains to this. And then we're going to segue into other topics and scenarios, different things like that, like we always do. But first, I have a big announcement for everyone. I don't know if you guys have noticed my amazing jersey here and whatnot. It says Mr. Craves Cookies. And then on the back, it says Cookie Man.
I
So
love it.
next week, this coming Tuesday is going to be the start of my appearance on a reality show for entrepreneurs. And it's going to be held in Tulsa, Oklahoma. And the name of this show is called The Block. That's BLOX, The Block. And if you want to see episodes, you can look up clips on YouTube, and also it's going to be on Amazon Prime. It's going to be on Prime Video. Um, I will let everybody know when the airing of this is going to be. However, that's what's going on next week. Is I will be one of the several entrepreneurs in this series. It's going to be season 24 of this amazing entrepreneur reality show. So I'm extremely excited for this going on. I thank the whole community over here in the DMV and whatnot. I really want to thank everybody for y'all continued support and
Hold on.
everything,
Time
all y'all
out.
shout outs, all of your okay.
Time out. Woo! Go Dedrick. Go Dedrick. Mr. Cookie Man. Mr. Cookie Man. Go get it. Go get it. Yeah. We are so proud of you and we are so happy for you. You couldn't just keep going without letting me celebrate. And I will be watching.
Well, thank you so much. I appreciate it. So I just really wanted to tell you guys that real quick. I'm super excited because this is the beginning of yet a new chapter in my journey with Mr. Craves Cookies. So yeah, and if you guys are ever interested in purchasing cookies and stuff like that, I do ship. I have customers in over 30 states so far, and hopefully your state will be one that I can add to the list. So now, without any further ado, um, let's go ahead and jump into it. Uh, so the reason why I decided to come up with this effects of zero accountability is because throughout social media, I'm often looking at um, no accountability whatsoever for anything. And it's just like it's like kryptonite for most people, for a lot of folks, and it's baffling to me. Like I just saw a video of a young lady who decided to try and guilt trip and gaslight men who questioned. She said one guy asked, "Why is it? It seems like the women that they're meeting." Excuse me, is either behind on her bills, can't pay her bills alone, or is searching for some sort of sugar daddy or whatever the case is. So her response was, if you have to be asking all that question, you shouldn't be dating. What? So any smart man would ask that question if he sees that a woman that he's dating, and that's any woman, it doesn't matter how many of them he meets, if it looks like she's not good with her finances, there needs to be questions asked before he attaches himself to her life. That's what smart men do, is ask questions. And he asked a general question and she got triggered. He didn't direct it at her. It was something that she saw some guy ask. And then her response was for him not to date if he has to ask those type of questions. First of all, he's supposed to ask those type of questions. The same way women ask certain questions to make sure that that man is stable, both mentally stable and financially, at least going in the right direction. So any woman would ask certain questions if she sees that there are certain things that just don't line up. Anybody's supposed to ask those questions. So at no point did she take any accountability whatsoever. At no point did she say, well, you know what, he's right, or let's discuss this further, or nothing. A lot of them just decide they want to get defensive and deflect and avoid the question altogether, which is crazy to me. Like if you're going to get defensive and avoid the question altogether, why are you dating? If you don't even have the communication skills to answer a direct question somebody's asking you. And sometimes people are really asking for clarity. And then you get in your feelings, get defensive, change the narrative, and then make yourself the victim. No accountability whatsoever. No acknowledgement of what they said, nothing. But you choose to play the victim or pull the victim card or call that guy weak or not a man or whatever the case is. I don't get it. Like what's that about?
Well,
I
unfortunately,
can.
oh, go ahead.
I'm sorry. Actually, this is Sean, Jessica.
I know who you are, baby.
Oh, okay. So
Welcome
my
to the
thing
stage.
is,
Welcome to
a lot of
the stage.
women are brought up in dysfunctional houses where they don't know what real relationship is and what it is to be a woman and what it is to be a man. So their view of security from a man, or what a man is supposed to have, is not uh it's not what she can give, it's what she can get from a man. A lot of women haven't been brought up in the correct way. So, and then they have a lot of trauma. Some of them have a lot of trauma. So that could be a reason why she responded like that. That's the only thing I could think of, because I feel if you getting to know someone, that's like one of the things that you would ask, or that you would want to know how they are with
I
their
agree.
finance.
But see, I think so, I've been with Billy for what? Oh God, too long. I love them. But like those conversations weren't like the kind of questions that were asked. But I'm more of an observatory type of person. So, okay, first of all, I knew he was a teacher, so I knew roughly, what he was bringing in. And that part didn't matter to me because, and this was like 16 years ago, so he wasn't at the threshold then that he is now. But I knew that he was doing something good and I knew that he was passionate about it. And then like when I would go out with him, I would see his character and his values, his morals. Um, and I knew he took care of his bills. I didn't see a eviction notice. I didn't see past due bills on his table when I went to go visit. I didn't see his house dirty. He always paid for dates, even the times that I tried to pay for them. Like I was able to do it a couple times, but I had to like throw my card at the waitress and say, "Run! I want to pay this time." You know. But like you said too, a lot of women have been brought up in households where they don't see um, what the man is really supposed to be about and what they're supposed to do. But on the flip side, they also don't see what the woman is supposed to be doing either. You know,
Right.
um, so that's the hypocrisy part because it's like so it's okay for a woman to ask a man, so what do you do for a living? And some of them bold enough to say, and how much do you make? And I'm like, damn, you ain't have to say all that. You could have probably just Googled that, you know. But if the roles are reversed and the man says, hey, so what do you do for a living? And how much do
Right.
you make? Oh my God, it's the end of the world.
Right. Right.
And then, no man wants a liability, right? So if you are reckless and the first thing you say is, "Oh, I don't know what I'm going to do about this light bill,"
Right.
like
Right.
I,
Right.
I don't know what I'm gonna do with this light bill, and I need my phone about to get cut off, and I mean, if I hear
Right.
that, whether friend, romantic, whatever, I'm like, damn, that's the first thing you're gonna talk about is your
Right.
light bill getting cut off. Yeah, I don't know if I want to deal with you because you don't seem
And
financially responsible.
her response seemed that if she might be needy. She might be one of those females that have a light bill due or need her phone bill paid. She might be one of those women, so that could have triggered her too because she probably knows that she does that and she's needy. Because if a woman is confident and doing well, she really doesn't care if a man asks that because she know what she has. She doesn't need him for anything or anything. She living her life and she's fine. So a woman wouldn't have a problem with a man asking that if they were in a position where they was taking care of themselves and was able to do the things that they want to do. Because a lot of women look for men to do things that they can't do for themselves. But sometimes it's okay for women to do things too. It's not, like your husband, he was, the model man that women would want that pays for everything and does all the right things. But then you have men that have been brought up in a way where they want things too. They want stuff from a woman, not saying that they are needy, but they expect a woman to do things that they do. They want to be taken out on a date sometime. They want to have their dinner brought sometimes. And that's fine. I don't have any problem with that. But it's some women that feel that it's a man's job. That's what a man's supposed to do. He's not supposed to ask what you bring to the table. He's not supposed to ask what goals do you have in life or what you're trying to do or what direction are you going in your life. Like she thinks she can just cook and clean and lay down and that's it, and have nothing else. And it's a lot more to a relationship sometimes. Some of them may look up and get that man, but In the real world, you have to have more than that for a decent
Facts.
person.
And I really want to appreciate the both of you for those points of views, because a lot of women do not process those things that way, especially in this particular day and age. And the thing is that the guy is then try it, the guy is then reduced to less than a man if he questions her or asks her a simple question about what is it that what's coming with you, what's what makes you so special. Now he ain't gonna ask that particular question straight up, but basically
Right.
what makes you so special to the point to where I need to commit myself, my life, my finances, my covering, my protection, my everything to you, my
Right.
assets, everything. What's different about you? You know what I'm saying? So, and the problem is that when it gets to the point to where a man can't even ask you a simple question, because again, if you are trying to genuinely seek an intentional relationship towards long-term finality when it comes to being in a relationship, why are you even dating if a person can't even communicate with you? That's part of communication. Questions are part of communications. You would be looked at like an idiot if you went about life assuming that you knew what the other person thought, or assuming you knew what was going to happen, or assuming you knew what the intentions of somebody is without even having a conversation or asking a question for clarity. So for me, when I see these things in social media, because I'm gonna tell you, I don't meet these women in person. I see a lot of it in in social media,
Right.
because I've never attracted ghetto women. I've never attracted drama driven women. I never attracted those type of women. You know what I'm saying? Because my energy doesn't give off that. So my whole point is that with all that being said, I just don't understand how some women have the mindset that they can come into somebody else's life and contribute absolutely nothing, but expect the absolute most. Like
Hold
how does
on,
that even
Dedrick.
work? That doesn't work.
Here's the answer. I am the table.
Right. Right.
I am the table. Okay, boo.
Right.
Baby, I am the table. Okay, that's what I bring to the table. Do you see me?
Right.
You
That's how
see
they
me?
are. But
Oh my God.
I think of it
Oh,
in the sense of I have brothers.
oh.
So everybody wants the best for their siblings. So say if I have a brother and he brings a young lady around that he's interested in and he's getting serious about, you know what the question's gonna be when she's not around. Well, what does she do? Does she have any children? What is she doing
Mm,
with herself? Like, is they
mm,
want to know who she is. They don't
mhm.
want their brother just to be with anybody, or the son to
Absolutely.
be with anybody. And the same thing goes for a woman. But I mean, to think that it just goes one way, it's just that's just not realistic. It's not.
And that's one of the things that I loved about Kevin Samuels when he would ask that question. When women would get up there and they would unleash these unrealistic expectations from men, and let's say they had a couple of kids or whatever, and he would literally say, "So, do you have sons?" And they say, "Yeah, I have two sons." So, would you want your son to date this type of person? The same
Right.
thing that you're asking for, would you want your sons to date the same type of person? And they would say no.
See. And that's that double standard thing.
Time out, Dedrick, why do you have two screens up?
Hold up. Hold up. Hold on. Okay.
Okay. It's just back to one now.
Okay. Sorry about that.
Yeah. Yeah, like you said, that's that double standards thing. So you think that some man is supposed to come and whisk you off your feet and take care of everything and do everything for you. But if your son brought that same woman, if your son brought you home and said, "This is who I'm
Hello. Did I
dating and
lose
this
you?
is what she's about," you'd be like, "Hell no."
Right.
So why is it okay for you? I mean, it's not okay for your son, but you expect that type of treatment from somebody else's son. Because let me tell
And
y'all,
some
baby, I got 2 sons, and I be damned.
and some men are
Right. Right.
type of men that take control, but they won't just do it right away because they'll see what would she have what is she gonna do, like if I just hold back a little bit, is she, how will she respond, like they can be a stand-up guy that does everything and what a woman expects and everything, but because they know they are that type of man and they're a good man, they don't uh initially come to the woman that way, and a lot of women get offended and like, oh, he don't do this or he's not doing that, and it's not that, they're just seeing what they're dealing with. Is she
Mm-hmm.
gonna get mad? Get mad if I can't take her out to dinner? Is she gonna throw a fit if we can't go to the place that she wants to go to? And they need to find out those things before they get involved with different women. Because
Absolutely.
especially if they're the type of men that take care of everything.
Yep.
Because
I agree.
it is men that don't like men that don't like a woman to do anything and they just do everything, but that's not every man. But the ones that do, sometimes they have to find out too what they're getting involved with.
Find out too what they get
Oh, whatever you just did made an echo.
But you're absolutely right.
Is it still echoing?
Hello, can y'all hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. You gotta. I mean, but I mean, we can flip that vice versa too. We can flip that role. I know me personally, I paid attention to Billy for the man that he is. I didn't pay attention to what he could do for me. I paid attention to, is he going to hold the door open? Is he
Right.
going to pull out my chair? When he met my parents, how was he received by my parents? When I met his friends, I paid attention to how his friends treated him. So
Right.
I personally think, this is my personal opinion only, but I think observation is better than questions. Because sometimes,
Right.
let's say you ask a question like, so okay, what do? You can tell me you work for NASA, but you can also tell me you can also admit the fact that you're the janitor at NASA, right?
Right. Right.
So me asking you questions, it's all fine and dandy, but at the same time, observation just makes more sense to me when you're on the dating scene. Now, mind y'all, I ain't been on the dating scene in 16 years. So I can't speak to this new dating scene. I can say from what I see, I'm glad I'm married. That I
Right.
will. Because
Yeah,
if I had to date, it'd just be me and my chickens.
Mm,
You know how Kevin Samuels used to say,
yeah,
get a dog? I just have more chickens.
and
man.
I've been single for 7 years, single and celibate, and I'm fine with it because I know what I want, I know what I'm worth, and I just don't want to be with anybody. Because sometimes you have to you look at these men and you see the women that they are with and the type of women they have. It's like, I don't know, they all right, they cool, but if they can deal with something like that, I don't know what they really into. But
Right.
some,
That's true.
the you can't be too sure of people sometimes. So I just play it safe, and I just until I'm ready, I'm just not trying to date or anything. I never like dating. I never was a person that dated different guys and stuff. I don't know how women do that, but um, I just I just pray that God sends me who He wants me to have. So yeah, and
Well,
I've been seeing a lot of good choices.
well, let me say this about the dating multiple people thing. Um, I've always believed in it. Now I'm a serial monogamous by heart. However, I do not believe in wasting my time either. Now, if
Right.
we haven't made a commitment to each other, we haven't um talked about anything that could go in with, we just have a mutual interest, and that's all it is. I'm not going to close my door to other people. You can get to know other people. That doesn't mean you got to have sex with them. That means you just getting to know those other people.
Right.
And for me, getting to know is exactly that. Getting to know. That doesn't mean you got to have sexual relations or anything like that with another person. That means you got to get to know them, just like you vetting that one person. You can vet other people as well. And you can do that multiple times because you're not talking to everybody at the same time. You're not having everybody on the phone at the exact same time. You're not going on a date with all of them at the same time. So you can do multiple things at once without doing everything at once. If you know what if you understand what I'm saying. So
Yeah.
for me, that does not take away from who you are as a person. It doesn't mean you're a bad person because you're getting to know multiple people. That means you're utilizing your time wisely. And a lot of the times people will what's the word I want to use? People will vet themselves right on out of your life because they'll make a move that's going to X them right out of that dating list. Bam, you're gone. And see, as a rule, I don't do more than three women. I don't entertain more than three women at a time because again, you need to make sure your focus is on the right thing. So once that one person eliminates herself, okay, now it's those two that I got to figure out what I want to do with and stuff like that. And that happened to me. I literally when I met Rhonda, my forever love.
Mhm.
When I met Rhonda, both of us were dating other people. We were just kind of seeing other people, see what was what was what. But as I got to know her, I was like, this is exactly what I needed. And I was good. I was like, okay. So I went to the other person and I said, listen, I'm getting to know somebody at this particular time, and I know you ain't gonna like it, but I think I have a better situation with her. And I think you're an amazing woman. There's nothing wrong. You didn't do anything wrong. I just feel like that she's the better fit for me, and I hope you can respect that. And I told her that to her face. I didn't call her. I didn't text her. I told her that to her face, and she knew me.
I ha-
She knew
I
me.
have to agree with you with that one because when I met Billy, I was talking, like you said,
Hmm.
talking to other people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um,
That's
doesn't
what I
mean
said.
that we were sexual or anything like that. But and then when I met Billy, and after, and it didn't even take long. It was like a few weeks.
Mm.
And the one that I was really talking to, which was an old childhood friend, I called him, but it wasn't face to face only because he didn't live in the same state as I did.
Right. Right.
And so I called him, and I was like, hey, I really met this great guy, and I can actually see something between he and I, and you live in a whole nother state, so I really didn't think that this was gonna work, the way that I wanted to, anyways, and I still got love for you, but I think I'm gonna go ahead and stick with Billy, you
Mhm.
know.
Right,
Um,
and I'm just saying, like, I wouldn't actually like go out on dates with different guys
Mhm.
because I talking to guys, that's different. Cause I used to be a barmaid when I was younger, and I I knew nice ladies, but they would date different men and bring them in the same bar, and the way it looks is crazy because
Right. Right. Right.
although they might not be having sex, but it just doesn't look right to me.
Right.
And in the interaction, so you were sitting on this man last week. Now you are hugged up with this man, it just, you know.
Yeah.
So I think the talk for me, the talking on the phone, and you know, and when until y'all get a better understanding or a better, you know, a better view of who you're dealing with, then you can start dating.
Right.
But you can have multiple people you're talking to, but then you'll have that one that you know that you're interested in that might be the one for you, and that way you can eliminate the other ones that you're talking.
That makes
But
sense.
see, I think that's where we've lost touch. Well, not we. I think that's where people have lost touch. Like we used to talk on the phone.
Yep.
Right.
Yep.
We used to talk on the phone. Now they meet on Tuesday at let's say 11 in the morning, and then at 6 o'clock at night they on a date. They
Right.
ain't had not one conversation. You know, us like when with Billy, I think we talked on the phone a good 3 weeks before we had our first date. You know, so there's a different because you know I think we're all Gen X here. You know, oh yeah, we talking. Remember that saying? Yeah, we
Right.
just talking. You
Right.
know, but that's actually what it meant. We are just talking. We're
Right.
getting to know one another. We're
Right.
not
So
just
those
jumping
females-
out there and going out on dates or getting into intimate relationships with people. No, we just talking and chilling and getting to know one another.
Yep.
and then no one can get mad or
Nope.
no,
Nope. Nope.
like this is mutual. We single. We just getting to know each other, and
Yep.
it might work out and it might not.
Right. Right.
Matter of fact, look, I remember because this was what 16 years ago. This is when we still had minutes on the phone, and I was like, "Call me at 9 o'clock, bruh.
Right.
Call me at 9 o'clock when these minutes is free."
Yeah.
Amen.
Yeah. Yeah.
Had the Razor phone. Remember the Razor
Yo, my
from
God.
Motorola?
Boy, that age.
Still a
That,
flip phone.
I had the Boost Chirp, the
oh.
Boost Chirp phone,
I think we all had the Boost Chirp at one point.
but that was a free after 9 too. I could talk to Sprint customers after 9 and
Right. Right. It's almost like they do the iPhone people talk about how bad the iPhone people talk about the Android people. Yeah, I talk to the iPhone people because we can communicate. So
Yes, I just think we've gotten. I think that on this topic, I just think we've gotten well, no, not we. I think people have gotten a far way away from the actual courting, talking, getting to know one another phase. And that's why a lot of the relationships that people enter into, they're pretty much null and void. They don't last long, they don't go anywhere because they're so quick to try to jump into something instead of taking the time to get to know that person and to get to know one another.
I blame social media.
Because,
absolutely. When they started having all of these housewife shows and stuff,
oh my God,
and how they act towards each other and the things that they do, the people that's watching them started thinking that stuff is real and that's real life, and they are acting. These is people acting. The houses you see them in, these rented out houses. They don't live there, but people that's watching it, they believe in it.
but
And they think,
well, not just that
did.
though. Hold on real quick because I'll lose my train of thought quick.
Okay.
Not just that, I blame social media too because it's so easy to meet people these days. Like back in the days when you didn't have social media, so you pretty much were confined into your area, right? So the people that you met, whether it was at school, at work, whatever, or shoot, your parents, hey, I know such and such a daughter, she's single, and I think she'd be good for you. You know what I mean? Now we're meeting people in France.
Right.
You know, we're meeting people. It's so easy to see other people across the globe to where I guess it became too easy, if that makes sense.
Hmm.
And but then you have the catfishing. You have people that talk to people for years, months and years, and then when they finally meet them, they look crazy or they
Yeah,
Yeah.
crazy. Like,
that happened to me.
And just for the record, just so y'all know, I keep going off camera because I notice when I go off camera and I mute that it's not as it's not breaking up as much. It might be my phone, is what I'm saying.
it might be my phone because my phone been acting crazy too. So I don't know if my phone will have any effect.
No,
Well,
when I mute and I turn my camera off, I hear both of you guys perfectly.
oh wow. Okay. Well, I don't know. I think that, like you said, social media has had put as great as it is that of making the world smaller. It
Mm,
also has desensitized people too. It has
yeah,
it has taken away the art of
Mhm.
communication, and
yeah,
and it- and it's tough watching these young people not be able to communicate effectively without getting into their feelings and mistaking it and just taking everything wrong or just jumping from 5 miles per hour to 10 to 100 miles per hour
right.
or the vanity of people where
Mm,
they're using filters for everything.
right,
Nobody's real or who they say
right.
they are, and heaven forbid now we got AI. So now when you talk about you looking for somebody real, like you better be very specific about what you're talking about, because
Exactly.
people are not authentic as they used to be, and stuff like that, simply because they can hide behind a computer screen. I had a young
Exactly.
lady. She we talked, and I think she would use her old picture because she was a slimmer young lady, but her voice was amazing. Oh my god, her voice was whoa. Man, when I met her in person for the first time, I said, I know you lying. Like, who the devil is this? Her
Sorry.
voice was still the same, but I was just like, who was that on that picture? Like, what the devil is going on? So, like, you got a lot of people who hide behind. You got internet bullies. You got internet thugs. You got people who hide behind a computer screen, but they are not who they are in real life. And a lot of the
Right.
times, that is a bad thing. And I don't know if you guys recall when I'm about to date myself, and I'm sure you guys don't mind this because I don't know what y'all ages are, but I have an idea what Jessica is. But anyway, that's neither here nor there. But what I'm saying is this: y'all remember when MySpace went down for like a weekend a
Mhm.
long time ago?
Child, yes.
People daggone near lost their minds. Like they almost lost their whole mind. And I remember one dude in particular. This dude was on the ground crying because he
Boy,
talking about he lost all his friends and da da da, da, and his friends and this. Food is not friends. What's wrong with you? Like get your grown behind up and go get busy. Go cut grass or something. Like you crying because a social media platform is not available for however long it was going to be for. Nobody knew, but it was. I think it was like about 2.5 days or something. But it was just like people were crashing because they didn't have access to social media, and
I mean,
because
that
everybody
still
couldn't
happens to this
validate them or
day.
something.
Look, let Facebook be out for 3 hours.
Mm-hmm.
What do you see on your timeline? Anybody know what happened? Hey, do.
what? Remember when they thought TikTok was gonna stop? People was
Mm-hmm.
going. people was going nuts when they thought that it wasn't gonna be no more TikTok. Oh, so where are we gonna go now? They tried to, go to another platform. Like they had to be connected. They had to be connected. When MySpace was going on, I was scared to get on the computer because I was always thinking, oh, that's the end times. That's the devil. So I wasn't even messing with the internet. I was scared, and then it took me I didn't even have Facebook, and my brother, he was living in California. He made me a Facebook page and called me and told me my Facebook um password and all of that. I wasn't gonna join Facebook, and that's how I ended up being on Facebook. But I just was never a internet person. Like I'm like a talk on the phone in your face. I come over and visit. Um, I didn't get into talking to people that I didn't know. And I didn't play video games because a lot of people met people through video games and stuff like that. I
Right.
didn't do that type of stuff. So I just wasn't into it. But then once I got into it, it started getting evident that a lot of people wanted something in life that they weren't getting in their real life.
Mhm.
And so they used the social media to be these people that they wanted to be.
Yeah,
And
I thought it was-
I'm just like I don't like the fake stuff. So I'm just, I get on it for my reasons. I'm not looking for likes. I'm not looking for love. I'm not, I just get on there. I like to spread information, good information and
Mhm.
stuff like that. But, but the more and more I get the kids, I mean the little kids, they're even being taught to to perform for the internet and stuff
Yeah.
like that, and
Well,
it's crazy.
see, the thing is, you like you just said, and I think because I have a friend right now, she's paranoid about everything. Um, and the thing is that you have to take from it what benefits you and leave the rest. Um,
Mhm.
like when I first got started, I was writing my book. I was doing my research for my book. I would join a ton of groups, relationship groups, singles groups. I would join a whole lot of stuff because it was part of my market research. And for
Mhm.
me, I love engaging in questions and scenarios and answering questions that people have. I love that kind of thing because I like understanding how people think about
Right.
certain circumstances and situations because it gives me more insight on how the brain works when it comes to women, how it works when it comes to men and people in relationships, in the middle of relationships, divorce, like I like all of that stuff across the board because I like to understand every facet of it. So when I'm writing a book based off of relations between men and women, not particularly relationship per se, but relations between the sexes, I want to know what I'm talking about. And
Right.
I'm going to talk to real people, like the two of you. If I'm asking you guys a question from the perspective of a woman, I'm going to listen. And then I'm going to, if you guys ask me something from a perspective of a man, I'm going to give that to you as well. And then in the middle, have a meeting ground that makes sense to what you all have just told me, what I've just told you, and how all of that relates together. That's how I have been building my book because I don't want anything like Steve Harvey, where it's his opinion and just his opinion
Right.
alone. I don't want that. I want something that is objective so that every woman can relate to some aspect of what's being said because it's being said by real women. And the exact same thing for men. I want those type of perspectives. So it's the same thing with social media. I don't get involved. Like I will jump off of, and I think Jessica has seen it before when she has been there. I believe I will disengage. At first, sometimes people will pull me into a back and forth, and I'll be going hard for a second. And then when I realize this person could be a troll, I just go ahead and
Right.
get myself off of the chat or the live or whatever it is, because they're not going to listen. So for me, you have to pick your battles. You have to pick
Right.
your environments. You got to pick where you are going to dwell and do that. Because I
Right.
think a lot, like my one friend, he believes that AI is evil. I'm like, okay, you want to live off the grid, and you think money is everything should be free because God blessed the earth and plants should be free. Well, technically, you're true. It's true. However, we need to understand that you live in reality and you have to pay for things. Now, unless you own the land and have planted your own food, you're going to have to pay for it some kind of way. Now you say, well,
Right.
AI is evil. Well, you can either learn AI and use it to your advantage, or you can say, oh, that's evil, and then you stay in the Stone Age while everybody else is being propelled forward. So you need to choose which path are you going to take, but you can't complain when you choose the path that no longer works. You can't complain.
Exactly.
So my thing is you have to look at things objectively and in a perspective of, okay, is this overall evil, or is it something that I can use to better myself? Number one, is it something that I can use to earn more money for myself and my family? Is it something that can benefit me short term so that it can benefit us long term? So you can't sit there and just slap a label on something and be like, oh, that's just bad. They're just trying to zap you for your money. They're just trying to do this. There are certain truths. Jessica and I, we've gone down these rabbit holes. However, there are certain truths that are true that, yeah, as a society, we've been lied to about. However, you have to utilize things in such a way that can benefit you and your family. You can't just sit there and dismiss and cancel everything, because at some point you're going to have to use that same thing you just dismissed.
Right. But and then too, a lot of people don't want to change.
No. Mm-mm.
It's but change is a must.
It's necessary.
We all must change and evolve into something better. It does we can't stay the same. And that's why you get those people that don't understand a lot of things, and their views are one-sided, and they're not trying to hear that. They know everything because they don't open their minds to know more than what they know.
Right.
And then nobody can tell them anything, because they have in their mind what they gonna believe and what I always been like this how I always been. Okay, well, you be like you always been.
Well, I
And we
mean, that goes to, and just so you know, Sean, Dedrick is like a conspiracy theorist, just like I am, and you're just the same. And so, like, I say that just to say that there have been resets in life, all throughout the ages. Things are always going to change. They're always going to change. So you can either adapt to the change, like Dedrick said, you can adapt to the change, be prepared, be knowledgeable on whatever that change is, whether it's AI, whether it's, I don't know, farming, whatever it may be. You have to adapt to that. Because if you don't adapt to that, you're going to be left behind. So for example, if shit hits the fan, right? My kids can hunt. My kids can fish. I can garden. I got chickens, for Christ's sakes. I have eggs. So that is an adaptation, because that's not something that we're used to. We're used to going to the grocery store and getting our chicken and our eggs and our meat and whatever, and our fruits and vegetables. But we teach our children that, hey, you don't know when shit might hit the fan. We need you to know this stuff. And it could be the same with AI. Like, a lot of people are complaining right now that a lot of money is being put into AI, for example, in the United States. And the thing is, and this is something that actually Elon Musk said over a year ago. And he says, well, look, he said, there are already other countries who are ahead of us with this AI technology. So we can either let them have the technology and then we have to bow to them, or we can invest and come up with our own technology that's the same so we can be up to speed with them so we're not lagging behind. And that's true.
Yeah. And that's actually what's happening now, as far as you know, they have a lot of things that's being brought to this country as far as AI, and the future is AI. A lot of
Mhm.
a lot of the jobs will be working on fixing AI, robots and stuff like that. So
Mhm.
I mean, if you don't have a skill that can maintain your lifestyle, or something that you can say that you can do that can make you money, what are you gonna do?
Yep,
And
that's true.
Right.
I was, I was,
I was
it was
telling
a
my
guy.
sons, I was actually telling my sons who are what, 12 and 13, because I think it's about time that they need to figure out what the hell they want to do in life, because it ain't that far away. And I'm like, look, I said, I'm gonna tell y'all now, whatever you decide to do, make sure it's not something that a robot could do. Like I just made it very simple and plain. Make sure it's not something AI can do. And even down to Billy in his teaching career. Luckily, he's 18 years in, so he's close to retirement. But I can foresee within the next like 3 to 5 years, they won't probably even need teachers. They'll put a robot in the front and download all the information into this robot, and that robot will be teaching the children.
Right, they won't even have to go to school. They will have computers. Everybody will have computers and new technology. Those that want to, you know, get ahead, because that will be the only, that would be the main source of everything. I think. Not saying this for sure that you know, I know it probably be some stuff, but the way that things are going now, if you don't know the computers, how to fix them, you don't know about robots and AI and stuff, you're going to be left behind. You have to know something, or be able to know something for yourself. Like it was some people, they were like, we got to do something, trying to go against the government. How can you go against the government and you don't own your own land?
Mhm.
You don't know how to grow food. You don't have your own food. You don't.
Mhm.
How you gonna? What you gonna do? How you still gonna come back needing them
Yeah.
because you don't have your own? Yet that's backwards. They always try to rah this, rah we gonna do this. Like they took a day. They took a day out of shopping. What's a day out of shopping gonna do to make a statement? And then y'all back in the store the next day. Like, really? And
But
they don't.
No,
It's
you said
people.
all facts. Like I said that too. I'm like, okay, so either you're going to go the day before and get what you need, or you're going to go the
Right.
day after and get what you need. So you didn't really make an impact on anything.
Exactly.
or you're gonna cyber shop.
Yeah, or you
Right.
get it delivered to your
Exactly.
house. Right.
And
Because
but
we have that now too. But again, like I said, and people think I'm crazy. Like I'm the crazy chicken lady. I got eggs. I grow my own garden.
I know
Um,
that.
I can. Well, I don't fish. The only one I don't do is fish. I don't like fish. They look weird. But I hunt. They do with they big ass eyes. They just creep me out. I don't like them. But anyways, but I can hunt. We know how to filtrate water. My sons know how to start a fire without gasoline, without any accelerant. And guess what? A lot of these people don't even know how to do that because we're so used to going to the grocery stores. We're so
Yeah.
used to just having everything handed to us that
Mhm.
we don't know how to do any of that. So again, like so Yeah, we have the robotic side and the AI side, but let's say all that fails, right? Then what? What happens? What are your children going to do? What are we going to do? As a people, because I already know what my family's going to do. We're going to be good, and we're
And
going
that
to board up this house and don't come unless I like you. Don't come to my house. Yeah, you ain't
and
getting none of my chicken.
And that's some things that people need to find out about the people that they decide to date. Like, do you know how to do things, make food from scratch? Do you know how to make this? Do you know how to, boil water and wash up? Or do you know how to make a fire? You know how to, do the things that are natural, that not man-made things that's quick and easy. Do you know how to do something so we can survive if anything ever happens? Because
And that's true. That's extremely true. Uh, because right now, you have to be proactive at this point right now, because you can't be reactive, because if you're reactive, you're too late. And
yeah,
the thing is that with even with because what I try to do now, I'm ordering a shelving unit, a shelving system in our storage room, because that's an unfinished room. So I'm going to put some shelving systems in there, label it, have some tubs, totes, and stuff like that in there, and then have places designated for the stockpiling of water. Because right now everything is building up to our power grid failing,
hmm
and for me, our power grid is so antiquated, it's not even funny. And then I'm looking at China and what China is doing. And I'm just like, are you freaking serious right now? They're light years ahead of us. And it shouldn't be like that. But this government is so greedy. They don't care about the system, the citizens and stuff like that, because we wouldn't have food still having poison of water and bad systems and stuff like that. But yet you can send multi-millions of dollars, hundreds of millions of dollars to foreign countries. You got cities here that need all of that aid. You got cities here that need plumbing redone all out and through the freaking city. You got there's so much that has to happen domestically, but yet you got all this frivolous money flying all the money that we don't even have. Just to be honest, we don't even have
but
that money.
we
But you
could
can,
act we could actually have the money if the right people were in the offices at the time.
yeah,
Right now the country is about to turn around
mm,
for the better, but a lot of people don't see it because it's a lot of things that have to take place before you actually see things working. But things are being done. Trump is trying to he's getting the grid reinforced and strengthened because he said something about that because he know that the grid was a thing that to look out for because there was a threat of them shutting down the grid. I think Canada said something about shutting off our power and all of this. Like we have energy in the United States, but they weren't doing anything to produce the energy in the United States. And they were sending money other places, but actually taking kickbacks from the money that they were sending.
of course,
And so they didn't actually do anything for the United States because if we were going to be a third world country for real, if they would have let those illegal immigrants stay and not did anything about it, the people that are mad are the people that was pocketing our money. And see, we didn't stand up for it because we didn't know that they was putting our money in all of these frivolous things that had nothing to do with us, but now it's coming back because all of that money is stopped. And that's why
Yeah.
all the anger is going on. That's why they're mad about a lot of stuff because the money that they were getting kickbacks on and pocketing, they can't do it no more, and they being watched. So now people are starting to see, like, look, we got to start doing stuff for ourselves. But then you still have the people that think they need to be handed things for the rest of their life. And those are the people I don't want to be around because those are the people that's going to do you bad when times get rough. If times
You
get
ain't
rough.
lying about, you ain't lying about that. They bop your ass upside the damn head
Yeah.
and take what you got.
So
So
I
yeah,
want a man that know how to do some stuff too, you know. I want a man that know how to take care of me when stuff get bad too. Cause I know how to do things, not everything, but I know how to survive with a little. But a lot of people
well,
can't.
And that's what it's going to take. It's going to take all of that because there ain't going to be no because all these. I'm gonna tell you what I've noticed. We can sit here and we can poke fun at those people who we call hillbillies, poke fun at all those individuals we say who are teaching their children how to shoot and hunt and all this other stuff. You can poke fun all you want, but while you over here, being Miss Bougie and Miss Prissy, if the crap hit the fans, and I don't like to say if, I say when it hit the fan,
Right.
you ain't gonna know how to do nothing. You ain't gonna know how to survive. You ain't gonna know how to do anything. And then now all of a sudden you're gonna be looking for somebody else to bail you out. Now you're gonna be looking for something. And what you should have been doing is learning fundamental survival. That's what you should have been doing. You should have been reading.
Let me hold on. Let me tell y'all something. And I say it all the time. I say it loud and I say it proud. If shit hit the fan, I'm gonna say it exactly the way I want to. If shit hit the fan, I'm going to find the rednecks and the hillbillies. I ain't coming to y'all. I love y'all. I love y'all. But them rednecks and them hillbillies, they know how to make power off an alternator, a battery, and a starter off their Ford F-150. Okay? They got more ammunition than probably the whole government. Okay? I'm finding the rednecks and I'm finding the hillbillies.
And
that's who I'm going to. Look, if there's a war, the hillbillies and the rednecks, that war be over. You're going to see a trail of Bud Light cans. By the time you pull up, then you're going to see Bud Light cans everywhere. And they're going to be like, woo-ha, we won the war. And I'm be like, well, damn, we just got here. They've been waiting for this shit. I'm finding the rednecks and the hillbillies. Y'all can say what y'all want. Call me whatever you want. I'm finding them first. Okay?
But you know too, if people were smart, they have a lot of self-help, do-it-yourself videos that show you how to do these certain things to survive, how to filter water, how to make a to do anything. You can find out how to do anything. These are the things that people need to be watching and looking at instead of reality shows and TikTok dances and all of that. They all into what the world is doing instead of what they need to be doing because they think everything is all fine and dandy. And those are the people that's going to be looking stupid when the shit hit the fan.
So here's the thing. So I don't know if I've said this before on the show, but this is your first time here. Have you ever watched The Walking Dead?
No.
Even just one episode?
No.
Okay. So The Walking Dead is pretty much, it's just a zombie show. I know you know what it's about.
I know what it's about, but I never watched.
Okay. So when I had my first foot surgery, I had never watched it either, right? And when I had my first foot surgery, I was down and out. So I found something to watch. And everybody was talking about this Walking Dead series. So I started watching it, right? And the first couple of episodes, I'm like, oh, okay, yeah, it's all right. But then, like, by the third, fourth episode, something snapped, right? And it was more or less like, they're not talking about zombies. They're talking about everyday live people. So you have these people who were infected and they became zombies, right? They're just walking around clueless, just looking for their next meal. And if you happen to get caught, you get ate, right? But then you have this select amount of people who actually turned out to be great leaders. They knew farming. You had certain people that knew how to farm. You had certain people that knew how to teach, knew how to do, a build. And those were the people that actually survived through that series. And it hit me, and I was like, this show was never about zombies. This show was literally about our everyday life in our societies, that we're just walking around like zombies. And you have a select few people who, if shit were to hit the fan, they would be the ones that you want to gather with. Those will be the ones that you want to be around, because they had those skills. So that was a very good eye opener for me. And like I said, at first I'm just looking at it like, oh, zombies eating brains and people, okay, whatever. But then once I started continue to watching it, I was like, oh, wait a minute, that's not what they're talking about. So
But you know
sometimes
what?
what we can look at as entertainment can also be applied to real life.
But I found out they are talking about zombies because they have something. You can look it up. They have something in the CDC that's talking about zombies,
CDC,
and it was something. It's some kind of disease that you can catch.
It was
I
the
can't remember
deer.
the name. I can't
Was it
remember
the
the
deer?
name of the what?
Was it the deer? The zombie deers?
No,
Okay.
it was for the people. It was for people. And it's a certain disease that could cause people to look like demons. It cause people to look like some kind of demon face. You see you see a demon face, and then they have something that they want to eat people. They want to eat people. It begins with an M. I can't remember it. I'm gonna look it up though. But that stuff is real. Anything that they put on TV, it's either a plan or it's already in motion.
it's
And
usually already in motion.
all they have to do is whatever they did to make those people zombies, that's what they will try to unleash on the people. Just like they try to do this, say the truck got turned over with the monkeys, and they had HIV,
Yeah.
COVID, and herpes. I mean, herpes, COVID, and I forget the other thing. But
Yeah.
that happened
Herpes,
a couple
COVID, and
years
something
ago.
else.
But that happened a couple years ago. Now, how can this happen twice?
Well, like I always
How
say,
can
when shit ain't working out, they gotta find something else to distract us with.
But see, they want to do this to say, oh, this is why this is happening to people because those monkeys got loose. When they're the ones that's releasing this stuff. They
Right.
got to
And they had the nerve to say they were aggressive monkeys. I'm like, damn, y'all couldn't put the diseases in a nice monkey? Like, what the hell?
But that's the way it's always been. They've always released things and then fed you with excuses or gave you a backstory and then fed it through the 1% fed it through the media that they control. And then if you hear it enough, people start to believe that
Right.
it's the truth. And my thing
Right.
is that it's even one of the biggest evidences of that was 9/11. And Jessica and I have talked about this before, but if things happened the way they said it did, wouldn't you think there'd be a little bit more transparency? My whole point My whole point is, why would you flood the airwaves with terrorism, terrorists, terror,
Right.
and that's all you heard for months upon end. Every time you turn the TV on, that's blaring in your face. And then after a while, all of a sudden you hear that the Patriot Act was passed. Wait, what? Wait a minute. What do you mean? The very thing that supersedes our constitutional rights, that's what's passed 3 o'clock in the morning. A lot of this stuff that was vetoed was put into the Patriot Act. And now a lot of the things are violation to our constitutional rights. They're violations to our constitutional right. They can come into your house and they can take you without charging you and hold you indefinitely if they want to, under the guise of the Patriot Act. And my thing is once you get into fear mode and stuff like that, because that's all they're doing is fear mongering. That's all they're doing. But they're also distracting you with this bull crap over here while they do all this diddling over here. While they do everything that's going to undermine our Constitution, our civil rights, our everything that you can possibly think. That's what they're, and we're witnessing it right now. What's up, man? What's going on?
What's going on? You good to go?
Huh?
Yes, is you good to go? Can you?
Can you hear me?
I am. I'm a whole lot better because so, yeah.
Since we don't have Maurice, I figured I'd let him tap in for a minute.
What y'all talking about?
Right now, we were just talking about, excuse me, the truth and stuff like that. We started off talking about the effects of zero accountability, but we started talking about a lot of the stuff that's going on in the world now.
I got you good. I got you.
What I was talking about was stuff being hidden in plain sight. They distract you over here. Yeah.
Okay.
Sean, this is my husband busy.
Comes down to accountability too. It comes down to accountability too. Yes, ma'am.
Sean, this is my husband Billy. Say hi.
So how are you?
Fine, thank you.
Sean,
what I say about the accountability is when things get to go bad and those people that didn't do their due diligence while they had a chance, they're gonna think, oh, you need to help me, instead of being accountable for them not being able to help themselves while they had the chance. When they wanted to do other things instead of learn the things that was coming in for the future. And that's where they won't take accountability for it. And it's going to be a lot of people trying to, oh, I need you. I don't know how to do this. No excuse. And that's why a lot of people going to be stealing from people, robbing people, and doing all kind of stuff because they don't want to be accountable for what they didn't do. I'm just going to be out the way.
Look, I'm telling you, don't look.
But that's just the truth.
I carry. I don't leave my house without carrying nowadays. So they can do it if they want to, and their family gonna have to have a GoFundMe or a fish fry. I'm just saying.
I mean, but that's what's going to happen. You got to prepare yourself for the worst and pray for the best, because my whole point is that it'll get worse before it gets better. And I hate I'm not a pessimistic person at all, but I'm looking at the trend of what's happening and stuff like that in the world and stuff like that, especially this country. And it's just like the citizens are not a priority. The well-being of people are not a priority, in my opinion. And my thing is that instead of sitting there now on the one thing that I did partially agree with, because I seen on social media where this girl was upset. This girl has 3 children, $2,000 worth of food stamps, right?
Mm.
So, and I'm sitting here like, and then she's complaining that they were requiring her to what was it? Get a job, not a job, do community service. I forgot how many hours of community service, right?
Yeah, they can either, they have to do 80 hours a month. They can break it up 20 hours a week. So they can do community service, they can do a job, but they have to give at least 80 hours a month, not a week, a month, doing something that's beneficial to the system.
Now, with that being said, she was upset that she had to do anything for her $2,000 worth of food stamps for SNAP benefits. Wow. Ma'am, first of all, who told you to keep spreading your legs, popping children?
Right.
Nobody told you to create a lifestyle off of the system. You're not supposed to create a lifestyle. We all pay taxes. Now, if we all fall on hard times, we should be able to utilize that for a short period of time to keep us afloat. We should be able to do that because we pay taxes. That's something we should be able to do for a limited period of time. It wasn't meant for you to create a lifestyle and generational dependence. That's not what it was meant for. So on that side of things, I don't have a problem with them requiring her to do something. Like, do something. Stop freaking laying down, popping children so you can get paid more.
Right.
What's wrong with you?
They acting like the world about them if they don't get food stamps.
Right. Like you are mentally retarded if you think that's something that's supposed to be acceptable. But you want everybody, you on social media pouring your heart out, thinking you're gonna get empathy for people who've been working their butts off most of their lives.
And the thing is, if you get $2,000 worth of food stamps, you should be selling food. You should be selling some plates. Get you a business, build you something. If you
how about that?
If you have an opportunity, that's a lot of food stamps.
Heck yeah.
And it's free. It's free to you. So you be making all the profit. You supposed to be building. You're not supposed to be planning on staying on it. That's crazy.
Hey y'all see what she just did there? Did y'all see what she just did there? She just made sense, y'all. She just made a whole lot of sense. And it took her a few seconds. And it took her a few seconds to put all that together. So you trying to tell me you got $2,000 worth of food stamps and you can't make plates?
Right.
You can't make something for somebody else to make more money for your household. But you complaining about 80 hours worth of community service. Your community service could be doing the food.
You know, let me tell y'all what my problem is with some of this. You know, I'm a stay-at-home mom. Been a stay-at-home mom almost 5 now. So I've been at home for 5 years. And we live off of a teacher's salary. And although he makes really good money because he puts in extra, he's like the department chair, he does homebound. So he's making really good money now. It wasn't always the case, you know, and I'll give an example. A few years back, and I think you'll remember this. A few years back, my truck broke down. $7,000 later, I missed my family vacation for Christmas. You remember that, Dedrick? I don't know if you remember. It was like 2 years ago, and I had to miss my family vacation and everything because we had to pour this money into this truck. It was tough times, right? But we made it work. So, you know, these people that's coming out here talking about, we're not going to have Thanksgiving and the holidays are messed up. But guess what? Everyday people who work hard, that shit happens to us too. And we make it work. I remember going to my boys and saying, hey, what do you really want or what do you really need for Christmas? Because money is tight right now. Because we got to get this truck fixed. Because if we don't have the truck, we don't have no money. What do you want? And I went and got exactly what they asked for, and they were happy. Guess what? Yeah, we might not have had what's that song? Yams, hams, damn, downtown. That song. We might not have had a whole fucking decked out Thanksgiving, but we made what everybody liked. Okay, what do you want? You want mac and cheese? Okay, what do you want? You want hot wings? Okay, I'll make that. Monica, what do you want? I want this. And we made it happen. So, like, for the people that's crying and complaining, like, oh my God, I'm not going to get my food stamps. How can I have a holiday or Thanksgiving or Christmas? We go through that all the time and we don't get assistance. It happens. Knuckle up. Whatever happened to back in the days where you would get a bag of rice, a bag of beans, and you would just make shit work. Shit, find something in your house that you no longer need. Like if you have a stroller, sell that for $25. If you have something else, sell that on Facebook Marketplace. Like there's no excuse these days because we can make money. And then they're getting up here and they're in their cars. Okay, let me be very clear. They're in their cars, on their phones, recording videos on how they want to steal because they're not getting food stamps. And I'm like, okay, but you have a car and you have a phone. That's two sources of income right there. You could use those two items right there to get a source of income, even if it's just a few $100 to feed you and your children.
It's so many ways to hustle.
And then you got your, but hold on, here's the better part. But your hair done, your nails done, your lashes on your face, you got jewelry on, you got all this other stuff. So what you been doing with your money? Now for me, personally, I'm a stay-at-home mom. You want to know who does my hair? Me. I wash it. I get my little chair, I blow dry it, I flat iron it, I curl it, I get my little eyebrow pencil, I do my own little, I don't do lashes, I do my little eyebrows. If I want a pedicure, I got my little pedicure thing downstairs, I plug it up, put some water in it, and do my own pedicure.
Well, see, you talking about people that like to be seen, that want to be seen. Those are the people that have a problem with that and that gotta have the lashes and the hair and the nails. Those are the people that want to be seen. They want to look like money, ain't got no money though.
Mm-hmm. And that is the problem with our particular society. Listen, my thing is I will prefer to do what the rich people do. Give me an old F-150.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna tell you, we this was literally something that I witnessed myself. We followed this one. We was already in that particular neighborhood because I always love to see the big houses. I've always had dreams of grandeur, living in big, beautiful homes and having an abundance of things. But I also read several books that studied the habits of multimillionaires and how they got there. There's one in particular by David Bach called The Millionaire Next Door. These people don't look like what you think a millionaire might look like. They look like your typical Tom and Susie. They look like your typical Ted and Betsy. They look like your typical everyday person. But they were prudent with their money, and they did it together. They were prudent together, and then that's how they built their fortune. And you follow them into this. And so this F-150 that I spoke of, we didn't purposely mean to follow him, but he just happened to be in front of us when we turned, he turned. And so we was like, okay, whatever. We just happened to see what he pulled into. And when I tell you that was one of the baddest mansions in that particular neighborhood, they invest in things that are assets that can grow into assets and stuff like that. They use portions of their houses for their business, and they turn part of that house into an asset, because a house in itself is not an asset. because you're paying into something. But the equity in it, you can use the equity to build another income producing asset. But my whole point is that he poured his money, their money, into something that could be a blessing to their household, their generations, their kids, and all that good stuff, instead of something that was flashy. If you saw this dude pull up at the Safeway or at the Giant or at the Publix or wherever your store is, you wouldn't look at him twice. And that's the whole point. He's not out here to prove anything to nobody. He's out here.
Well, there's the saying. The saying does go that rich people stay rich by looking poor, and poor people stay broke by trying to look rich.
Yep.
And that's true. And I teach my children that. That's like I got 2 boys, they 12 and 13, so they kind of smelling themselves right now. They want to be a little fly, and they want certain things. And I'm like, do you see this house? Yeah, no. My priority is this house. My priority is this land. These are my priorities, and I'm gonna get you nice things. Don't get me wrong, because I ain't gonna have you teased at school. You know, that is what it is. That's true. I'll get you nice things, but I'm not spending $400 on a pair of sneakers. Are you out your damn mind? My sons know not to ask me for that stuff. They know better. Right. And look, I can flex just a little bit. I can flex. I live in a $500,000 house. And I look around and I'm like, yeah, do you see this house? It's on 4 acres. You can fish, you can hunt on your own land. We got chickens. We good. Like, we good. You know, you need to learn this part, because trying to look good for everybody else ain't gonna do you no good. You're gonna find yourself broke. You know, and unfortunately we have that mindset. And look, I'm gonna say this. In a sense, it's because a lot of us have gone so long without having anything nice. So when we get the opportunity to get something nice, of course you want to do it. I get that. I'm not even mad at that, you know, but we still need to be smarter with what we do with our finances. It's kind of like, let's say, reparations, for an example. Let's say they give everybody $1 million for reparations. Every Black person gets $1 million for reparations. I can almost guarantee you, sadly, I say this sadly, I can almost guarantee you maybe 5% of us would use that money wisely. 5% of us would use it wisely and buy land or pay off our debts and things like that. The other 95%, I ain't gonna lie, they probably just go pop bottles, get rims, get sneakers, get jewelry, Gucci bags, Birkin. I don't even know all of the new, because I don't buy none of that mess. I don't even know all of the name brands, but I know Gucci, Birkin. Everybody's gonna want to just kind of look the part, and then next thing you know, a year later, kind of like in the movie Next Friday. Remember, he won the lottery. Was it Next Friday or Friday after next? One of those two. And he won the lottery. They bought the house. They moved out of the hood, and then next thing you know, they had an eviction notice, a foreclosure on their door, because he was so busy spending money trying to keep up with the Joneses instead of investing or doing something else with his money. And sadly, I think that a lot of us would do that. And that's not to bring up like the argument of reparations. It's just saying that I don't think that a lot of us would actually invest the money into what would create generational wealth.
Well, it starts here.
Right.
When you can reprogram the yourself, because you have to unlearn the bad habits you've learned over time. I liken it to a brick wall. You have to tear down those bricks by bricks by bricks and rebuild yourself in such a way where you put your mind in a particular state of being where you're learning things And that's why I don't believe in the adage knowledge is power. Applied knowledge is power. Used knowledge is power. I don't give a crap how much you know. If you don't use it, what's the point? You just just know stuff. Because my
Amen.
whole point is that if you don't apply, and I'm gonna tell you, black folk, they will tell you, they will spit all kinds of knowledge, but let's look at what they're using. Let's look at all the things. What are you actually using? Are you utilizing anything that you're telling us to do? Like, for instance, I tell people, I said, listen, you need to get an IUL. Well, I need to have an IUL, don't you think? I need to know what I'm talking about too. Because if I have a life insurance and I'm telling people this is the benefits of having said life insurance, and I'm telling you to get an IUL, get an index universal life insurance, and then you can now use your life insurance as your own bank. Now, if you ask me a question, I should be able to answer you. I'm not going to suggest something to you that I'm not doing myself. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
Now, if I tell you that I'm in the process of doing it, that's one thing. But if I'm coming to you telling you you can make $1 million doing it this way, and then you simply ask me the same question, what question you think I'm gonna say you're gonna ask me? Have you made $1 million?
Right.
But I'm telling you, what you can make $1 million, you're not gonna look at me with much credibility. So it starts up here, and people, a lot of people, I hate this stereotype, but us black folks, a lot of black folks don't like reading. We don't. And my thing is that even if you're gonna do edutainment, that's fine. But make sure you're intaking the right information from the right sources, from the right people. Once you go down certain rabbit holes and you start researching things, the right things start popping up. Things that you didn't really think about, you would see start popping up. So you have to put yourself in that line of thinking, because then certain things will pop up. This will pop up, that'll pop up. And you have to pour yourself into that. And a lot of us black folks, we like to be entertained more than we like to be educated. And that pisses me off, because they always say, if you want to, what's the phrase? Oh gosh. But anyway,
if you want to come from a black person, put it in a book.
No, not that one. They said if you want, it's basically about keeping the circus going, so that everybody want to attend the circus and not paying attention to what the truth is going on out here. You want to keep them
You're talking about the
entertained.
Roman Empire. Do as the Romans do.
I'm gonna find it. But
I don't know your exact quote, but it's probably about the Romans.
I can say like I had went through in 2018. Gold was a lot cheaper than it is now, and I knew to get gold. I watched this documentary called Millennium 2000. And it was about the New World Order, and it was saying that, the dollar wasn't going to be anything. And they said to get some gold and some silver, because that would be the money, the solid money that you could have. And, and get to know some farmers and people that grew things, because you would have to barter for food and stuff like that. Because money wouldn't, people won't have money. So a lot of people would have to trade off things to get, different products. So 2018, I didn't have the money to get the gold, but my cousin, he has two businesses. He has a bar and a club. And I was telling him to get some gold, get it right now because it's cheap. It was about $1,800 an ounce. And he was like, yeah, and I gave him the people, that I checked into myself, to get some information. He never did anything. Now the gold has went way up. Now he's like, well, who are what's that the people name you told me about the gold? Oh, really? Now you want to get it. Wow. And you had the means to get it. and when it was cheap.
Wow.
Well, and that goes back to like kind of what I was making reference to. I figured maybe everybody had heard of The Walking Dead, but reference to those types of things where like I remember one scene they had came across a golf club, right? A golf course. And there was a safe and it was full of money, right? Full of money. And I remember Daryl Dixon, one of my favorite characters in the show, he used it to light a fire because money meant nothing. I can't do nothing with money, but I can do something with this alcohol because people gonna want alcohol. I can do something with these canned goods that I can get out of here. But the money, he ran across the money and he literally put it in the fireplace and set it ablaze because money wasn't a factor at that point.
Yeah.
And the reason why I told that story about the gold is I was making a reference to what you were saying when you tell somebody, you tell somebody that you can do something and they say, well, have you done it? And it was more like that. People looked at me like that, but I'm thinking, you have the money. I don't have the money right now, but I'm gonna give you this good idea that I know it's a good idea, and it's gonna help you out. And some things, it's you might not have done it, like say was better. Not because you did it, it's something that you failed in. And now you know the right thing to do, and you can tell somebody. So even if I didn't succeed in it, I know where I failed in it at. So I could tell you the right way to do it and to succeed in it, even though I didn't succeed in it myself.
Right. No, you did right. I mean, that's no different. I would have done the same thing. Hey, if I know somebody that has more money than me, hey, I heard that you need to buy gold now. I can't afford to do it, but you might want to do it, And so you did right. Just because a person can't necessarily do it themselves doesn't mean that the information is bad.
But see, my cousin, he thought just like he was saying, well, she don't have it. She don't about no gold. She don't know it's gonna be nothing. And then now this went up, now he calling me, asking me about it. If you really wanted to know, get the numbers. Research like I did. I gave it to you. You sat on it. Now you don't have the information. Now you got to do the work. That's out of my hands. Because you had the means. And it's a lot of people, that look over that. They look at your position and think, oh, they don't know what they're talking about. Because they don't have this, they don't have that. They don't know what they're talking about. When they're probably the one that can give you the gold mine. Because I don't know, I don't have a lot, but I know a lot.
You're right, because it's like, okay, well, I wish I could. He was like, I wish I could do it, but I can't do it. So, but let me holler at my cousin because I know my cousin could do it. So, hey, that's his loss.
But that's the thing. We don't trust each other, and that's where the problem is we don't trust each other. Like, I missed out on a lot of opportunities just because I was procrastinating. You know what I'm saying? So for me, I made a vow, if I came across something, I'm not passing it up. And that's what a lot of us do. We pass up stuff because of the messenger. We don't pay attention to the message, but because of the messenger and who's delivering it, now, well, what do you know? You don't have, first of all, I know the information. Like you just said, I may not have the money to make that investment. So you might, but I don't. I'm telling you, I'm giving you what I know from the people who's credible. I'm giving you the information so you can get it and go run with it and take care of what you got to take care of. So that way you can see the reap the benefits of it. I don't stand to benefit, not unless you want to bless me, but I don't stand to benefit.
Exactly.
You do. Now, if you do that, I'm getting it from a credible source. So you're questioning the messenger. Well, why ain't you doing it? Did you not listen to what I just said? I can't do it because I don't have the means to do it. I'm telling you to do it because you have the means to do it. If you do it now and just relax, it's going to go someplace else that is not this right now. Right now, it's down here. In the future, it's going to be way up there. Your money can exponentially grow if you just listen to what I'm trying to tell you.
Right.
I'm getting this from credible sources. I'm not making this up.
Right.
But we don't trust each other. And then we'll look at the messenger. Well, what does she know? I seen her since she was a little girl. Yeah. But information happens. New information develops. Times change. Trends change.
Mm-hmm.
Like with the AI situation. I wish I would have jumped on it 5 years ago when they first they mentioned it before, beyond 5 years ago, but when they first started mentioning AI, I knew that it was going to grow because that's where it was trending. Technology was trending.
Right.
I should have invested in AI companies then and did my research about AI companies and just invested some money in those little small companies. That's what I should have done.
Right.
So,
and you would have been a millionaire
that was my
right
fault.
now. And then too, I done told people about jobs, give them the information, the number, and I don't know anything about the job, but I know somebody they're hiring. I give them the number. What they hiring for? How much is they paying? Call the number.
Right.
Call and see for yourself. I'm not interviewing for the job. I'm telling you about the job. Do the work. Do you want to work? You know, and people they get information from you and act like you supposed to give them everything for them to get started. No, I'm telling you about it. You do the work.
Yeah, everybody a lot of people just want handouts. And my thing is if you're not willing to do the little bit of due diligence,
right.
That's on you. That's on you. Like right now, me and my ladies, we're getting into the AI space. We've attended Alicia Little's AI because she's called the AI queen. Her name is Alicia Little, but and I see that Tony Robbins and I forgot what my man's name is. They're doing the AI thing. People are ramping up in that space. I keep talking about it because this is the space that we're in. At this point, you can learn AI for cheap right now. Very, very cheap. And you can put it on your resume that you're an AI specialist or consultant or whatever. Do you not understand that your salary will get a huge bump just because you know AI? People are paying AI specialists huge money. Now, again, what you do with that information, that's neither here nor there. But my whole point is the opportunities are right in front of us right now. And the reason why I'll say the Black culture by itself has not progressed, and Jessica touched on it, was that we don't educate ourselves on the things that we need to educate ourselves on. Like with and she used reparations as just an example of the mindset.
Right.
Matter of fact, we can go ahead and take it back to something as simple as income tax season. And when people get their returns, you see what they do with it. Every single year, it's the same thing.
They get a new car, a new flat screen TV every year. Like, how you need a new car every year? How you need y'all going on trips that you're gonna come back to the same broken down house instead of investing in something that's gonna last you and make you some money.
Because that's too much work. That's too much work. Because because if it requires work, I don't want it. But
Right.
if it's free, it is for me. My whole point is you have to invest. You have to be able to invest in yourself before you can invest in life. I'm not saying don't take a vacation every now and again. Everybody need one. However,
Right.
what we are saying is that if you're getting $4,000 income tax return, do you know how much $4,000 can change your life if you invested in the right thing? Do you not like? I don't think people understand the frivolousness of getting rims on a car that don't need rims.
Right.
You don't need rims on your car. You don't need a candy apple paint job on your car. That's stuff you don't freaking need. Who are you getting it for? To impress
They
people?
get, yeah, they want to be seen. People,
Let me
people
tell
want
you, when I was a store manager for AutoZone, oh my God,
Mhm.
tax time was
Mhm.
my favorite time of year.
I bet
Because
it
I
was.
knew these ninjas. I said it, ninjas. I knew these ninjas was gonna go to the buy here, pay here places, and they was gonna find the Mercedes and the Audis and all these things that had the check engine light on already. And then they was gonna come to my AutoZone and ask me for the parts to fix it. And when I told them something as simple as a sensor was $500, they be like, "For real?" And I'm like, yeah. Maybe you should have bought a Toyota or something just to get you around. But you were trying to be cute, so yeah, that's what that costs. Yeah. So, your car's not gonna work right until you replace that. Tax season was literally my favorite season at AutoZone. I got the biggest bonuses. And guess what? And I worked in Hopewell, Virginia. And let me tell you, Hopewell, Virginia is a Black community, mostly Black community. Okay? And I knew that they was going to go out and spend them that $4,000. I tell you what, there was a guy, it was not, let's go off to the side just for 1 minute. He had a nice, I love old cars. And he had a Caprice that he had painted and everything, right? And he had rims on it or whatever. And he pulls up to my parking lot, and I happen to be outside doing something. And he rolled his window down because obviously the Caprice don't have the automatic windows. You got to roll it down. So he rolled his window down and he reached out and he opened the door from the outside. And I looked at him as he hopped out the vehicle, which was a very nice vehicle. And I said, "You better be coming in there for a damn door handle. I swear to God, if you get some damn tire shine, I'm going to cuss you out." What did he come out with? He came out with tire shine. I can't make this up. I was like, "You need a door latch." I said, "We have it. It's like $17. I went in there and looked it up on purpose. I said, "It's $17. You got tire shine, but so you fly, but you got to roll your window down and open your door from the outside. Are you serious right now?" But again, like you said, I just wanted to make that example because priorities. We want to look good, but your damn door handle don't work. Stupid. God forbid you ran off of a bridge. You can't get out your car.
Right.
Dummy.
But all of that goes right back to what I said at the beginning. Mindset. And that's where it's going to start. If mindset doesn't change, it doesn't matter how much they beat their chest over social injustices, over civil rights violations. It doesn't matter how much money you give them. Like you said, you can bless them with $1 million, and Joes will be broke within the next few months. They would be broke. And when I say, and I'm being generous, they might blow that junk in the same month. My whole point is
Right.
if you have no financial literacy, that's what's going to happen. Look at what happened with Rodney King. When he died, that fool was broke. He was broke because he had no financial literacy. And I think he got something to the tune of $36 million. I think it was like almost like $1 million per hit that he got endured or something like that. But to blow
Hell,
through $36 million, come on,
I
man.
heard George Floyd's family, and I think they were rewarded like $50 million. They broke as shit. They were rewarded $50 million, and from my understanding, I don't quote me on the number because I want to be accurate, but they broke. They didn't invest anything.
It was a girl on the internet that you ever heard the girl cooking with Kaya, cooking with Kaya, cooking with
Yeah.
She made $1 million and she talking about she broke. How? And all she was doing was cooking. You made $1 million easy and didn't invest none of it.
Easy.
That's money mismanagement all day.
Man.
Ain't no way.
Man.
Hold on. I look, I would be remiss to not say what I want to say right now. That's just like Kamala Harris made over $1 billion and left 20 million in debt.
Mm-hmm.
Gotta say it. Sorry. I gotta say it. We people do not prioritize money. Financial, they splurge it, they spend it, thinking that things are going to get them somewhere, and it doesn't get them anywhere. And then they turn around and they're in debt, or just even if they're not in debt, they're just broke. Because there's a difference between being in debt and broke. Being broke just means you ain't got it. Being in debt means.
Kaya is a young girl.
Yeah, no, I remember her. I liked her.
But the thing is, you young. That's the time. How many young people get a chance to get $1 million easy like that, and you don't invest any of it? Like, who are your parents? Who are your do you have any mentors? Who is advising you? Because if something went wrong.
Well, that's what I was gonna say. Like, because she was young, she probably and that goes back to what I said earlier. Though, a lot of times when you're so accustomed to not having anything, once you get that thing, you're like, oh my God, okay, I can buy the purse that I always wanted to buy. I can spend the money that I always wanted to spend. Because they're younger. So, I mean,
but if you my daughter, I'm gonna say, like, daughter, I know you want the nice things, and that's fine. But you could take some of this money and invest it in something so it'll grow.
Well, yeah, that's you and I.
You're not gonna always have the money.
True, but I mean that's what logical people do. But we have to be realistic and know that all people are logical. And if nothing else, I don't know the girl. I don't know her mama. Her mama probably spent some of it too. Oh, you got $1 million? Well, can you buy mama a new car? You know how that goes. That happens. So, like I said, I don't know. I can't speak to her situation.
I mean, somebody didn't tell her something. Whether it was her mama, uncle, auntie, grandma, whoever, somebody should have been in her ear.
Okay, but let me say this, and this is going to tie into what we're talking about. Mm-hmm. A lot of times especially when our younger people, let's look at mothers who have football players or basketball players. What's the first thing that, let's say 8 times out of 10, what do they do first? They take care of who? They take care of mama. Mm-hmm. They're gonna buy the house. They're gonna buy the new car. Sometimes you'll have the mom say, "Baby, I don't need that. I'm good in my old house. This is where y'all was born and raised. I don't need a new house. I don't want a mansion. That's more cleaning for me. I don't need a new car. This car's been doing me just fine. No, right. You good, baby." But then you have some mothers that be like, "Oh yeah, my baby in the NFL or the NBA or whatever," and then they're taking advantage of the fact that their child has that money. So that can be a case with her as well. Like I said, I don't know the details of what she went through or who her mother is. But I do know that those things are possible and can happen. So, you know, if you don't have that responsible parent or, you know, that's guiding you, then it's easy for it to happen. And again, a lot of parents, especially once their kids make $1 million, $2 million, $40 million, they're like, well, shoot, it's my time now. I took care of you all my life. Now it's my time. You got to take care of me. And they'll drain them. And it happens more often than people talk about. Like me, if my kid makes it to the NBA, I'm still gonna be in the same damn house. I don't need you to pay nothing. I don't need to do nothing.
We
That's your
need to
money.
learn money. We need to learn money management, because I can say when I was younger, I made a lot of money, but I spent it on bull crap and what I wanted to do. I didn't think about investing it or saving it. I just had fun, and I didn't have anybody telling me anything either. And that's, you know, it's not like somebody was supposed to, but you would think that somebody would kind of give you a guidance of something. Some people have that guidance where they have you know, people that are real frugal and don't spend a lot and know how to save money. And they might say, look, baby, you need to do this, and maybe you should put your money here and not just spend it having fun. I didn't have anybody, and then I didn't have any children. So it was just me. I was just having fun. But at the time that I had all this fun, my mother was alive. And right after that's my in my 20s, and my mother passed away unexpectedly when I was 31, and she was only 56. So that, by me not having anything saved and not investing in anything, I didn't have any money. My mother house that she had, I had an apartment, I was working, but she had a house, and I moved out of my apartment so her house wouldn't be empty, and her house got foreclosed on. And so everything started going downhill, but things would have been better if I managed my money better when I had it, because I did have it. And it's just I didn't do the right thing with it.
Yeah.
And I think people should learn how to manage their money at a younger age.
See, I
Well,
had my father raised real quick. My father raised me. My dad, oh God, bless his heart. Long story short, my dad, when we moved back to the United States with from Germany, shit, we was on welfare for a minute. And when he got his job at the United States Postal Service, we got off of welfare. When that man died, he owned 5 houses on one street. My dad, stocks and bonds. He taught me so much. I'm not gonna get too personal because it's nobody's business. But let's just say when he left us, there was a significant amount of money. And guess what? It wasn't because he was rich. It was because he knew how to budget. He knew how to save. Like every day that he would come home, anything under $5 in his pocket, he would put into a jar. If it was a $5 bill or less, it went in a jar. All the quarters, the pennies, the nickels, the dimes, he would roll them up. He would deposit in the bank. He had stocks. He had bonds. So fortunately, I learned that from him.
Right.
If it wasn't for him, I would not have learned that. I will say that. But he taught me those things. Like he had like the spreadsheets, like you know those old school like long. He had I'm just saying he had everything. Like every account for his children, his grandchildren. It was down to a penny. You can count that everything he wrote down was exactly accurate. But unfortunately, like you said, a lot of us don't teach our children that the financial responsibility and how to become successful even with just a little bit. Because like I just said, he was a postal worker. He still had bills. He wasn't rich. But every day he emptied his pockets and he put anything under $5. That was his rule. Anything under $5 went into the jar. And he would take, like at the end of the month, he would take everything in the jar, he'd roll it up, and he'd go deposit it. And I remember I saw a bank statement one time for my account alone. Mind you, I have a sister. This was before I had children or was married. And I have a sister. And it was like at $500,000. And that just came from the $5 and below. Let's call it Five Below. Maybe I should make that a financial thing. Ooh, that kind of sounds good. So Five Below, like the store. Anything Five Below, put it to the side and start to build your accounts. That's what we do. I do it here. I always roll up the pennies and the dimes and the nickels, and I put all of it in my children's account. Mm-hmm. And it does tend to add up. So like you said, we got to start teaching our children financial literacy, but we also have to make it attainable, because again, like I just explained with that situation, it wasn't like he was rich. He wasn't a millionaire. It was just every day $5 or less. Put it in the jar. I've come up with $1,000 just for Christmas with change throughout the year. That's serious. Matter of fact, I got 2 Cowboys. It would be Cowboys, right, Dedrick? Mm-hmm. I got 2 Cowboys jars that were gifted to the boys, and I put all the change in there. And I swear, I can at least get $1,000 a year out of that, just from pennies, nickels, dimes, and quarters.
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
so
my thing is
sometimes it's the little things,
and it's also the discipline, because you got to practice those daily disciplines, and when you are consistent with those daily disciplines, then that's when the results show, and stuff like that. And I had to learn that over time, and stuff like that, because when we're younger, a lot of the times we don't have that kind of discipline. But as you get older, that's when you start to change things. You have to make the actions that's going to make the results happen. Because a lot of the times we Black folks, we don't like to say, we don't like to see money leave our hands. So I know in Automatic Millionaire, what he did was, like, for instance, with his paycheck, for those people who got paychecks coming in and stuff like that, you actually take a certain amount. If you want to do it by the percentage, you can do it that way. If you want to do it by the dollar amount, you can do it that way. But in each check, I like to do it by the percentage, because if one week you work more, it's a higher percentage that comes out of that check. But my whole point is that once you make it automatic, you can act like it's just taxes being taken out of your check, and whatever bills and stuff that you got to pay for, you pay it out of what's left, because you can't pay what you don't have. So, but in the meantime, that account is growing automatically. That account is growing every time you get paid. You're not even thinking about it, because it's automatically being taken out. And that's the reason why it says Automatic Millionaire. Now you got that money going into your 401k, and it's building. And if you work for a company that matches your 401k, that's even better. But my whole point is make it automatic. If you get direct deposit, have a certain percentage taken out and automatically deposit it into your savings account, or something like that. Not your checking, your savings account. Make sure that goes right in there every time you get paid. Every time you get paid. And and before long, you're gonna learn how to deal with not having that. And it's not going to be something you even think about anymore. All you know is your savings account is continuously growing. You know what I'm saying? So there's always ways to start to build those things without you having to physically do that. Now, if you do have the the commitment enough to do that on your own, kudos to you. But my whole point is that we got to stop making excuses as to why we don't do something. Now, that being said, if you know that there's something that you haven't done, for instance, if you know you weren't a good steward of your money earlier on, guess what? You can change it. You know why? You still living. And since you still living, you can make changes. You know what I'm saying? You can literally make changes. So, it's just one of those type of things. You don't wait until you need it to say, "Oh, I'm going to start doing it." Do it before you need it. Do it before you need it.
I want to say one thing, because what time is it? You got to do your station identification. I want to say one thing before we go off the topic. The same way that y'all, and I'm not religious. Anybody that knows me knows I'm not religious. The same way that you can tithe 10% to a church, you tithe 10% to your future. Because that's what we do.
That's real.
10%. So if you get a $2,000 tax refund, take $200 out, put it in the look and leave it there. Don't touch it. And then find you an account. You have IRA, get you an IRA. You have accounts where you can get what's the word I'm looking for? Shoot.
Higher yield.
Thank you.
Higher yield. Higher interest rate.
A higher interest rate, and sometimes match a certain amount of what you put in. Look into those things, because guess what? They are available. They are available. We didn't make it this far in life with just going paycheck to paycheck. Trust me. We had to, but again, luckily my husband teaches business economics, marketing, and finance, and so he knows these things. So I have an advantage on that.
And let me add to what Jessica just said. And I would do you one better, because I mentioned it before. Look into doing an IUL, because the cash value part of that index universal life insurance policy earns more interest percentage than any bank account you're going to be able to find. I'm telling you that right now. So if you got your money just sitting in a savings, it's not doing anything. It's not growing. It's not doing anything. It's just sitting there. You're not going to yield big earnings off of the money that you got sitting in the savings account, because it's just sitting there, sedentary. People think that saving is the way to earn money and be safe as you go through and stuff like that. It isn't. Savings just gives you a peace of mind that you have a little something to fall back on. But if you really want your money to have babies while you sleep and while you work, while you do whatever you do, you need to put it in something that's going to grow interest exponentially. That's going to happen within an IUL life insurance policy. You can look at it. You don't got to take my word for it. I'm telling you the truth. So that cash value can range anywhere from 4% to all the way upwards to 8%. You will not find a bank account paying you nowhere near that. You understand? Especially with inflation doing what it's doing, you will not find a bank account, whether savings or checking. Well, savings, I'll put it saving. That's going to earn you that. You will not find it. So you'll be best to have your money inside your own life insurance policy. Number one, it's not taxable. Number one. Number two, your money grows at an exponential rate than it would sitting in a savings account. You can do your own due diligence. Go to TikTok, YouTube, wherever you want to do your due diligence. But get yourself an IUL life insurance policy and use the cash value to build your money. And then once you get it to a particular point, let's say over a year's time, and you maximize that cash, your cash input, you can literally borrow against your own money without taking a penalty like you would with the 401k account. You can borrow against your money, purchase an income producing asset, and as you get your profits, put it right back into your cash value. You have access to your own bank. You are your own bank because you're putting it inside your own life insurance policy. The only thing that changes with that life insurance policy, let's just say you have $100,000 life insurance policy. You took out $20,000 out of your cash value. Now, if something happens, that life insurance policy is only going to pay out $80,000 because you never put it back in there. That's the only thing that's going to change. You're not going to be penalized for the money that you took out or anything. It's just going to take it off the back end. But if you replenish it, your money continues to grow exponentially. You know what I'm saying? So that's just a little bit. So right now, currently, we're going to go ahead and pause for station identification and a word from our sponsors. First of all, foremost, I want to give a shout out to Meet the World Image Solutions for your literary services needs. So if you are an up-and-coming author, you're trying to get your work out there, you need help putting it together or conceptualizing it, you need a ghostwriter, whatever, you need editing. If you have a book and you want to refresh it or whatever the case is, Dr. Rhonda M. Lawson is who you want to seek out. Now, you can find her at Meet the World Image Solutions, and that is www.mtw, that stands for Meet the World, Image Solutions, with an S. Image Solutions. That's MTW, imagesolutions.com. Go in there and poke around and look at her merch. Look at her Christmas. You're going to love her Christmas wrapping paper and her mugs. And it's awesome because it represents us. So you guys go in there, poke around, buy some merchandise, man, and stuff like that. You won't regret it. Also, the next sponsor is yours truly, Mr. Craves Cookies, where it's a party in your mouth. I was saying at the beginning of the show, next week I will be in Tulsa, Oklahoma. We'll be shooting for The Blocks. It's a reality show for entrepreneurs, and excuse me, and I am extremely excited to be a part of it, and everything, and it could be possibly life-changing, and I suspect that it will be. If you want to find me, I'm on Instagram at Mr. Craves Cookies. There's MRCRAVES Cookies, and whatnot. You can find me also on TikTok at the Mr. Craves. That's THECRAVES. The Mr. Craves. THEMRCRAVES on TikTok. And if you need anything, let me know. I ship to 30 states, guys. All right, and I appreciate that. And let's see here. Okay. Okay. And I want to say thank you to Kara for dropping by here. I hope I'm pronouncing your name right. Thank you for dropping by. We're going to be ending it too, and stuff like that. It's a pleasure having you on stage tonight, and I hope it's not the last time, because Mrs. Fields be needing some more femininity on the stage, you know. So thank you so much for coming and adding your amazing perspective. Okay, please come back and see us every Thursday night. Now next week there will not be a show because I'll be in Tulsa filming the show, but the week after that we'll be back on schedule and stuff like that. So thank you guys so much. And so Mrs. Fields, you have anything you want to say? We really enjoyed you too, Takara. Takara. Mrs. Fields. Okay. Well, once again, thank you guys for stopping through and spending some time with us, man. I really appreciate you. These shows are gonna get really, really interesting. We're gonna have a lot of fun moving forward, going into the new year and stuff like that to end the new year out. I mean, end this year out. So, oh, she's back. All right. She done took the glasses off. It's about to get real.
I'm sorry. I had to go in for a minute. Hey, sorry.
It's okay. I was just saying, do you have any things you want to leave the folks with?
Nah, I think we covered pretty much everything. I guess the only thing that I could say if I wanted to do a wrap up is let's do better as a people, and nothing is holding us back but ourselves. And let's get out of the mentality of that we can't do certain things when we know that we can, because we see it here in our faces with just the people on this panel alone, amongst many others, so take advantage of all the opportunities that you can. Research, read, because a lot of the opportunities that have gotten other groups further ahead, they're available to us. We just don't read about them. So we need to start reading, research, and guess what? Also share what you read and what you research with your brothers, your sisters, your cousins, uncles, friends, and let them know. And like my friend Sean said, if you give them that gem and they don't take it, hey, that's on them. But at least you gave it to them. That's pretty much all I got.
All right. Thank you so much. And once again, I don't know if Takara is still here, if she wants to say anything in closing or not, but do you? No? Yes? No? Well, once again, thank you so much for joining us, and thank you guys. We will see you guys soon, and whatnot, and for another episode of Soul Flow Conversations. And once again, talk to you guys soon, and we're gonna be out.